Imagine a story stretching over 1,000 years, a tale of mighty kings, sprawling cities, and an empire that connected 3 continents. This is the epic saga of ancient Persia, a civilization whose legacy still echoes in our world today. From its meteoric rise to its dramatic falls and rebirths, we're about to journey through one of history's most fascinating empires. So, grab your sense of adventure, and let's unravel the story of Persia. Our story begins in the 6th century BCE with a visionary leader named Cyrus the Great. Before him, the region was a patchwork of rival kingdoms. But Cyrus, a brilliant military strategist and a surprisingly benevolent ruler, changed everything. He united the Medes and the Persians, forging the foundation of what would become the Achaemenid Empire, the largest empire the world had yet seen. What made Cyrus truly great wasn't just his conquests, but his revolutionary approach to governance. Instead of crushing the cultures of the peoples he conquered, he respected their traditions and religions. This policy of tolerance, famously documented on the Cyrus cylinder, created a sense of unity and loyalty across his vast domain. He introduced the satrapy system, appointing governors or satraps to manage different provinces, ensuring efficient administration over a massive and diverse territory. This wasn't just an empire built on force, it was built on a groundbreaking idea of a multicultural state. Following Cyrus, the empire found another master administrator in Darius the Great. If Cyrus was the architect, Darius was the master builder who solidified the empire's foundations. He understood that to control such a vast realm, you needed more than just armies. You needed infrastructure. Darius commissioned the construction of the Royal Road, a marvel of engineering stretching over 1,600 miles. This highway, complete with way stations and fresh horses, allowed messengers to travel from one end of the empire to the other in just 7 days, an astonishing feat for the time. He also standardized coinage, creating the gold daric and silver siglos, which streamlined trade and taxation across the provinces. Darius wasn't just building roads and minting coins. He was creating a unified economic and communication network that held the empire together. His reign also saw the start of a conflict that would define an era, the Greco-Persian Wars. The Ionian Revolt, a rebellion by Greek cities in Asia Minor against Persian rule, sparked a clash of civilizations between the burgeoning Greek city-states and the mighty Persian Empire, setting the stage for decades of conflict. The Greco-Persian Wars reached their dramatic peak under Darius's son, Xerxes the Great. Often portrayed as a tyrant in Western histories, Xerxes was a complex ruler presiding over the empire at its zenith. He inherited the conflict with Greece and launched one of the largest invasions of antiquity. You've probably heard of the legendary stand of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae and the pivotal naval battle of Salamis. While these battles were significant setbacks for Persia, they are just one part of a much larger story. During this period, the Persian Empire was a beacon of culture and power. Grand cities like Persepolis and Susa were showcases of incredible art and architecture, blending styles from across the empire, from Egyptian motifs to Babylonian techniques. The court of Xerxes was a center of wealth, sophistication, and intellectual exchange. This was the Golden Age, a time when Persian influence on art, administration, and culture was at its absolute peak, stretching from the Indus Valley all the way to southeastern Europe. But even the mightiest empires faced their reckoning. For the Achaemenids, it came in the form of a young, ambitious Macedonian king, Alexander the Great. In a whirlwind campaign in the 4th century BCE, Alexander's brilliant military tactics and disciplined army swept through Persia. The decisive battles of Issus and Gaugamela shattered the Achaemenid army, and the once mighty empire fell. Alexander marched into the heart of Persia, capturing its legendary cities. The burning of Persepolis, whether an act of revenge or a calculated political statement, symbolized the end of an era. The Achaemenid line, which had ruled for over 2 centuries, was extinguished. Alexander's conquest didn't just topple a dynasty, it irrevocably merged Greek and Persian cultures, creating a new Hellenistic world that would shape the course of history for centuries to come. The age of Persia seemed to be over. After Alexander's untimely death, his vast empire was fractured among his generals. The heartland of Persia fell to one of his commanders, Seleucus I, who founded the Seleucid dynasty. For a time, Greek language, art, and philosophy dominated the region. But Persian identity was far from extinguished. It simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to re-emerge. That moment came with the rise of the Parthians, a nomadic people from the northeast. Under ambitious kings like Mithridates I, the Parthians skillfully drove out the Seleucids and re-established a new Persian empire. They were brilliant horsemen and masters of the Parthian shot, firing arrows backward at a full gallop. For nearly 500 years, the Parthian Empire stood as a formidable rival to another rising power in the West, Rome. They successfully blended Hellenistic and Persian traditions, creating a unique culture that served as a bridge between East and West. The final glorious chapter of ancient Persia began in the 3rd century CE with the rise of the Sasanian Empire. A nobleman named Ardashir I overthrew the last Parthian king, claiming descent from the Achaemenids and vowing to restore Persia to its former glory. And he succeeded. The Sasanian period is often considered a second golden age. They revitalized Zoroastrianism as the state religion and became fierce rivals of the late Roman and Byzantine empires in a series of epic conflicts that lasted for centuries. Sasanian art, science, and literature flourished. Their intricate metalwork, stunning silks, and grand architecture were admired far and wide. The Academy of Gondishapur became a major intellectual center, gathering scholars from across the known world. The Sasanians created a highly centralized and sophisticated state that left a deep and lasting administrative and cultural imprint on the region. The Sasanian Empire, weakened by centuries of warfare with the Byzantines and internal strife, eventually faced a new, unstoppable force. In the 7th century CE, Arab armies, united by the new faith of Islam, swept out of the Arabian Peninsula. In a series of swift and decisive battles, the once mighty Sasanian Empire crumbled. This conquest marked the end of ancient Persia as a sovereign political entity, and the end of Zoroastrianism as its dominant religion. But was this the end of the Persian story? Absolutely not. While the empire fell, its culture endured. Persian language, literature, art, and ideas of governance were absorbed by the new Islamic caliphates and profoundly shaped Islamic civilization. The epic poems of Ferdowsi, the philosophical insights of Avicenna, and the administrative models of the Persian bureaucracy all became foundational pillars of the New World Order. From Cyrus's vision of a tolerant, multicultural state to the Sasanians' cultural renaissance, the legacy of ancient Persia is woven into the fabric of our world. Its innovations in governance, infrastructure, and human rights were centuries ahead of their time. Its art continues to inspire, and its history serves as a powerful reminder of how ideas and culture can outlive even the mightiest of empires. The spirit of Persia never truly fell. It simply transformed, continuing to influence civilizations for millennia. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey through time. If you enjoyed this exploration of history, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. Let us know in the comments which empire you'd like to see us cover next. Until then, stay curious.